Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today to talk about the adjustment of status, otherwise known as a green card application. My name is Deron Edward Smallcomb. I am an immigration attorney. If you're watching this video, it probably means I'm not your attorney yet, and this should be taken as for informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for legal advice. If you would like legal advice, feel free to call me, 888-902-9285. So, the adjustment of status. Now, there's a couple different ways to do the adjustment of status, which is, again, the green card or permanent residency application. This is going to apply when your spouse is already in the United States. Now, of the two variations, the easier one is when your spouse or soon-to-be spouse is in the United States on a K-1 fiancé visa. You are supposed to adjust status after you get married on the fiancé visa. And the paperwork is a little bit more straightforward, and the review category by the government is also more straightforward when it comes to doing what we call a proper adjustment of status. The adjustment of status application is quite thorough. Generally, the average petition that leaves this office is somewhere in the 100-page or more range, because we're applying for the green card. We're applying for work authorization. We're applying for travel authorization. And we're also doing an affidavit of support to show that you can support your spouse if she's allowed to remain or he is allowed to remain in the United States. So, all of those together comprise the total petition, and to qualify for that, for, again, the proper adjustment of status, your spouse or soon-to-be spouse would have come here on the fiancé visa. You would have married within the 90 days as allowed through the fiancé visa petition. And we do a timely filing to let the government know that you are in fact now married and that your spouse wants to stay here. This is the second step that follows a fiancé visa petition and is the second step along the way to citizenship ultimately. So it's a very good process. The process usually takes about 6 to 8 months. It really depends on where you're at in the country. Every place is different because it does end up being processed at your local USCIS office. Some have a bigger wait time than others. You will generally be interviewed. A good portion of our clients are not interviewed. They're just issued the green card, but you should expect to have that done. They will also call you in partway and ask you to do biometrics, which is just their fancy name for fingerprints and photographs. So the cost, at least at the creation of this video, which is March of 2018, the cost is $1,225 to apply for the adjustment of status, the work and travel authorization altogether. No additional medical exam is needed as long as all the vaccination records were brought from the home country and it was filed, or if this is filed within a reasonable period of time following the issuance of the fiancé visa. Pretty straightforward process, lots of paperwork. Certainly we can help, so give us a call if you have any questions. Again, that number is 888-902-9285. Now, the more complicated process for adjustment of status, we refer to it internally as the improper adjustment of status. The government doesn't really like that you do it. Doesn't mean you can do it. It's just not the prescribed way to do things. So this is a situation where somebody's come here, for example, on a visitor visa, a student visa, something like this. And during their time that they were here, they decided to go ahead and get married to an American citizen. So the government requires a bit more paperwork here and a medical exam. So these petitions end up being quite large before they're done. So in addition to all the same things that we would have to file for a proper adjustment of status, we also have to file a petition for a marriage visa along with this whole thing. It's a very, very thorough process. And the government is more suspicious of your intentions when it comes to this. See, when you came in here as a visitor or a student, you had a non-immigrant visa, which means you're not supposed to stay. But things happen. Lots of times students will meet, they'll meet their future spouse in college, for example. And sometimes on a visitor visa, maybe you've been talking to somebody before you came here, and when you get here, you've decided that you can't be apart any longer. And you decide to get married. Now, with regards to that, you have to be very cautious. The law has become much more strict with the allowance of these type of petitions. About 6 months ago, they changed their processing criteria to where now if you got married in the first 90 days upon entry, the presumption is that you have done this in a manner that's consistent with visa fraud, and the burden is on you or us, if we are your attorney, to prove that it wasn't the case. If you got married after the 90 days, they're still going to thoroughly critique the petition that's been filed, but you don't have to overcome the burden of visa fraud, which is serious. And that's a serious matter. It could even lead to jail time, fines, deportation. Not an area that you want to be in. So, if you did get married after the 90 days and things do work out where somebody wants to stay, we would do all of those filings together, the 5 filings. Again, green card, work, travel, marriage, affidavit of support. We can do that on your behalf. The government fees, as of the making of this video, $12.25 for the green card application. They also charge $5.35 for the marriage-based petition application. And you will need a medical exam by what they call a civil surgeon. And those medical exams usually are in the $300 to $400 range. So a couple of $1,000s in general you'll be spending for government-related fees. Our fees are very reasonable. We generally cost less than most law offices out there. To choose anything but a very credible and experienced lawyer to do something like this for you, or to do it yourself, in my opinion, is quite foolhardy. This is a very serious process with serious consequences if it's not done properly, and very positive consequences when it is done correctly. It allows you and your spouse to start your lives in America, so make the right choice. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 888-902-9285. And if you have would like any more information and you're not already on the website, lawofficeimmigration.com. Thanks for watching.